So we're live now with a guy with an awesome hat.
Yep.
Yay! So we have Class Punk here. So guys, what?
I can't watch myself do that because I'll start cracking up.
Yeah, I know. Nothing wrong with that. So I just want to warn the viewers we're having a bit of audio difficulties. So sorry if it's a bit choppy, but we wanted to do this hangout anyways. And also for anyone watching, you can ask Class Punk some questions through the Google Plus side of things. You can come in, there's a Q&A tab, and you can ask a question if you want. But for now, we're just going to chat it up.
All right. So the Q&A tab, that's like that'll show up. I've never used that.
Yeah, actually, right while you're in this here, it's on the left side.
All right. I see it.
Yeah. So if you click on that, it will open up on the right, and then you can monitor if any questions end up coming in, and we can check that. Because most times I do these things through YouTube, so it's usually like, you know, that feed where people are all writing like in real time.
Oh yeah, the group chat thing.
Exactly.
I never figured out how to. Make that go on while doing a hangout.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's actually not hard.
People watching.
Yeah, because what you have to do is you have to host them through YouTube, and then when you host them through YouTube, you can do that. But if you host them through Google Plus, you'll only have the Q&A tab instead.
All right. Well, I got a huge thing of watermelons.
Yay! But I thought sharks were carnivores, though.
Yeah. Oh, I've got some turkey spam too. I was thinking of beating. I was gonna try to not really beat, more of a homage, do a homage to Disconnected Andy at some point, and then try to eat and drink a bunch of stuff in like a very small amount of time.
I hope Disconnected Entity watches this. That's so funny. Oh man, do you watch his videos?
I couldn't beat him. I've seen some of them. I couldn't beat him because I don't have any kind of like tobacco products, and he was.
That's true. To be Disconnected Entity, you need menthol cigarettes, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, the other day he made this video where he was just like watching one of my videos, and all this weird stuff was happening, and there was all this music in the background, and I'm like, I feel so honored.
Yeah, I think he's kind of he's trollish, but not a troll. I'm that way too.
Yeah, I've noticed. I was gonna say some of your videos are hilarious, like the half gingerbread one and the vlogging in bed one. Those ones made me laugh.
Oh, I was brutally sick when I did that vlogging in bed. Felt like I was dying. It was really bad cold. And I filmed a lot of stuff, and then I just kept that.
Oh man, that's
my voice sounded. I just sounded like a chain smoker, like a hardcore chain smoker, whiskey drinking. I don't know. It was like my vocal cords were sandpaper at that point. But
so you were basically Disconnected Entity.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
No, I'm kidding. Oh man, the lag is real with this chat. What the heck? I swear to God.
Is the audio still good on my end, or?
It is cutting out, but I don't know if it's my computer, but I'm just gonna ask if anyone's watching and they're near the Q&A tab, if you can write if this interview is cutting out for you guys too, because you can't tell, because I always have a bad connection, so I don't really know. But what I'm gonna try and do is host it on another computer next time and try and, it might be smoother because there's a newer computer that I have at my disposal now, but I just got so used to using this one. But anyways, I still understand you. We're just a bit out of sync, talk over each other sometimes, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I need to get an adapter for my HD camera, so I'm not using this laptop for future hangouts and stuff.
Yeah, anything to help, right? Because these things are just cutting.
I suppose, like on the topic of mental illness, I did watch like Kristen's video. She did like a interview with Katie Morton or something.
Yeah.
Like, just the trollish tendencies in me. I couldn't help. I started like working on an imitation of her, of Katie Morton. She's moving her hands around. She does this thing with her face.
Class punk.
So that, but that was an interesting video. I can't fit this hat in the.
That's okay. But wait, are you doing an actual like response video to it, or are you gonna do something like that?
I prefer only if I make fun of somebody, I kind of want to know them a little bit so they don't think that I'm like, because I've done that with somebody I didn't know. There was no response. I think I kind of ticked them off. So yeah, I tend to do it with people like I sort of like more chummy with. Just
Yeah.
so I don't know. And I have a friend who he kept making videos about this guy just sort of as a joke, and then he lost his account. So I
Oh no,
flagged or something.
that's not
So
good.
you gotta be careful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you go after people you actually know and you can kind of joke around with them, that's fine. But it's true when you go after like a bigger YouTuber or something, it's they could still find your channel, and you know, like it would not be a good idea to do something like that to TLD, let's say, or else you're gonna get your ass owned probably.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, I could get a copyright strike or something for like the gingerbread stuff, but I filmed. I don't know if I can get out of it because I filmed the picture, or how that would work. Like probably not, but maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think the actual.
Have you ever been flagged for anything before?
If I say that, there's somebody on your channel that's going to. If I say the answer to that, there's somebody on your channel that's going to say, "Oh, I need to go flag him." So yes, I've been flagged many times.
Ah, I see. I gotcha. By the way, someone watching wrote that it's quite choppy on your end, which I thought, oh, it's too bad.
I can try unplugging my wire, but I might like fall out of the Hangout completely. I'll just try it.
Okay.
It's stuck in the computer. Wow. It's like stuck in the laptop.
Oh no, the struggle is real.
Wow. I had a note taped to the box that my computer's on. It says, "Save this box for selling books," or something. Okay, I can't take this out. It's like the Cat 5 cable stuck in the computer, so it's not. It's like really stuck in there. Good. So I guess
That's right.
it'll just be laggy.
No problem. Yeah, it's weird because it's just
remember-
like very robotic on your end, you know?
Oh, when I did a hangout with XPAL, I didn't have video. I don't know if that like there was less data.
Oh
It's
yeah,
still
and you can also
robotic right now.
you can try. You can also change the quality of it or something. Zinnik just did it the other day, and it made it better for him. I'm trying to figure out where that is because I really want this to work. I'm like, we're gonna have a good conversation, but it keeps cutting out. I'm gonna check. If you want, try turning off the mic or something, because you can change in your settings. Or if anyone knows any help, if there's a way to.
Is it still robotic? Robotic sounding?
A little bit. I'm gonna even turn mine off.
All right. So, yeah, just say random things, blah blah blah. I am a robot.
That's good. That's actually good right now. Am I lagging?
No. Your audio's fine.
Damn, did we just fix the problem?
Yeah, we fixed the problem by being introverted.
That's the lesson today, kids. You know what's so funny? As soon as I got off camera, my anxiety level went down. How about yours?
Yeah.
True introverts right here. That's hilarious. Well, if it works, then, oh man, I didn't know that. I'm sure it is true when you're on your camera, it drains a lot of the energy and it just slows everything down, right?
That's just my guess, because I'm thinking the audio and everything's fine now.
Mm-hmm,
I'm just gonna need some kind of power tool when I take this cord out of my laptop, because apparently it's fused into the jack or something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but it's really good because my friend James, who's watching, said it's a lot better. There's no lag from his end too. Yay! I was so worried.
Well, I guess one of the things I was wondering about asking you on the topic of social anxiety is you've worked retail before.
Yes.
And I basically work retail. I've probably worked it for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's especially when you first get into it and you're hardcore introverted or just an introvert, it can be pretty hard.
Yes.
So I thought we could talk about that without giving out too many details or anything.
Yeah, of course. So for you, was it really hard starting out? Like what was your biggest challenge when it comes to that?
Learning the a cash register and stuff, and just people, because before that, I didn't really work that much, and I could go months with barely. I was pretty quiet, and just I could go. I didn't socialize a lot. I had some close friends and stuff, and then suddenly I'm working a job where I'm tossed in front of all these strangers.
Yeah.
And they're very impatient and waiting for me to bring them up and stuff. And I'm trying to learn all this stuff on top of being friendly and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, right? Because it's really sad to see that when you're out in the world like that and you're trying to just do retail, how many people just don't care about you and they see you as something less than you actually are. Did you get that impression that they felt superior to you? Yeah.
And when I'm in a store or something, I notice, well, now that I've worked retail for so long, I've noticed I can kind of come across a lot of people they'll just not happy or nice, but it's just because I'm kind of sort of in a have my mind on getting something and getting out. So I think and I've seen people, they look like they could be a huge ass, and then they're super nice.
Yeah.
Or they look like they're not, they're kind of more normal, and then they're a jerk out of nowhere. So
I know, and you're like, hello, you're breaking the stereotypes here. Please don't do that.
So yeah, appearance can be pretty deceiving.
Yes.
Seems but yeah. I recently worked I had I helped my boss. I worked 17 days straight, which was insane.
Whoa.
And my social skills, because I was pretty much forced, they've like improved because of that. Like there's times I just started up random conversations with strangers and stuff just because of being sort of forced around strangers nonstop.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you just that exposure sometimes gets you in that mindset. But I feel like the opposite holds true. Let's say you're out of work for a while, or you just don't leave the house in a bit. You can get extremely introverted, right? And then it's hard to go back outside and talk to people again. Do you ever get like that?
Um, well, no, because I have to like late. Well, I used to
Yeah.
before I uh, became a wage slave, but but, it's like, but no. I mean, I don't think that if you like get exposure that you that you're necessarily going to like completely get rid of social anxiety, because it seems like it's kind of in the gray with introversion.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell the difference between them sometimes.
Hmm.
For some people, maybe it's like it's simpler to figure out that difference, but I don't know. For me, it's like more in the gray. I need alone time, but there's also like I'm also can be shy.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Well, I think like everything is kind of on a spectrum. Like our mutual friend Joe Kidwell likes to say, he often says that we all exist in some spectrum where we're a little bit of everything. And I mean, some days I get into this mindset because like mental illness and all that can combine together in certain ways. So it's like sometimes I'll be in a depression, and that will drain me enough that just the thought of going to work and socializing with people all day, being forced to, is just too much for me, And I used to actually call in
Oh
sick
yeah,
a lot, and it's a struggle, right?
yeah, definitely. I just want to say for anyone watching, like if you hear me coughing, it's just because I have an allergy to the multivitamin I took yesterday, but now I know. So,
Knowing is half the battle, Class Park.
well, it sucks because like on the topic of depression,
Yeah.
something in that multivitamin is like really leveled my mood out, but also there's something causing me an allergy. So I'm guessing it's like taking a wild stab in the dark that it's like the B complex, because I haven't taken that in forever.
Yeah.
And I'm not like getting it in my diet. But I think
Yeah.
that like that's one thing with depression, like if you there's like deficiencies that I think can cause it. I mean, like along nutritional deficiencies along with like sleep deficiency.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. B vitamins help a lot. I actually started taking a B complex recently, and I think it's alcohol that actually leaches out the B vitamins, if I'm correct. And just certain things can like leach out what you need, or they don't absorb as well. So
Now, some people say that their mood levels out from vitamin D,
yeah.
and I definitely need to start taking that because I don't get sunlight because I'm up during the night all the time.
Yeah, it does help. Honestly, if I were to recommend just a few things, it would be B complex, vitamin D if you don't get outside or if it's the winter, depending where you live, of course. Also, high EPA omega-3s. That's really good for depression.
Yeah, omega-3. I have some fish oil, but it's not the like the higher up amounts of omega-3.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to swallow those things. Those things are giant.
I know.
That's actually why I don't take them regularly. It's just I can't deal with like swallowing huge things like capsules and stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. You can get the liquid too, at least. There's alternatives to it, but
I've heard. Well, I was talking to someone about that, and he's like, "Don't do the liquid. It's terrible. It's the nastiest thing ever." But I'm still thinking about trying it.
You know what? These days, they actually flavor these things well enough that they're doable. Because some of these things are really, they used to be super nasty, but they make them a bit better. I'm just gonna get to a couple questions here because I've had some people, someone writing some questions that have been really good. Well, someone wrote a comment first. They said Source Naturals makes an excellent multivitamin without being too expensive. Cheaper ones don't absorb as well. Is yours a cheaper one? Do you know?
Mine is Nature's Way, and it's a gummy vitamin made with pectin.
Yeah.
And I don't know like if gummy vitamins are maybe like less effective, or if it depends on whether it's made with gelatin or pectin or any of that.
Yeah.
But it's like an adult gummy vitamin because I hate swallowing large stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can guarantee it's 100% more delicious.
Oh yeah, they taste a little funky, but like they're not that bad.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty happy that no one's ever OD'd. Like, I don't think they've ever officially proved that someone can OD on vitamins. So once I ate so many of those because I just couldn't stop. I was having this like gummy craving, and there was some around. I'm like, yum, 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 yum. And it's very hard to OD on vitamins, thankfully, since most of them are like water soluble, or you don't really have to stress about it, you know?
Well, I was looking up like different before I came in this hangout, like different. Some of them were vitamin D overdoses. Looking up like any overdose for anything on the back of my gummy blah 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 multivitamins to figure out like what is causing this like kind of like raspy dry cough. But most of the vitamin when you OD on them, there's like nausea, like, and you probably have to take a crap ton.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Some people do like intravenous vitamin C as a treatment, right? So it's like people can handle large doses, of course, depending on the vitamin. But I'm just saying that I don't think they've ever officially linked it because people used to stress about this. I've watched documentaries on this when they were so worried about overdosing on vitamins. And then how many people overdose on prescription drugs every year?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But one thing I do know, a vitamin D overdose, it's because it's basically the reason you're able to absorb calcium. Your bones are able to absorb it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a power savings thing going on. If you have a vitamin D overdose, it's basically hypercalcemia, where you get too much calcium. And all the things that go with that, which nausea, I'm pretty sure is one of them, tremors and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's scary. I mean, it's scary because when you think about it, you can either get too much of something or you can be deficient in something, and then you get bad side effects as well. So.
Oh yeah, there's like really high prescription vitamin D that for treating stuff and stuff like that. Just like was it vitamin C you said?
Yes.
Yeah, so they use vitamin D for that too, for something, and I don't remember what.
Yeah, sometimes that can help with things in very large doses, but those are very particular situations. I've heard of people that have had like almost unknown illnesses, and they just pump themselves with vitamin C, and then they're cured. Now, I don't know how often this happens. It's quite controversial. This is more like, you know, naturopathic, I'm gonna say, remedies. But I mean.
Oh yeah.
You know, no one's ever died of a vitamin C overdose as far as I know, because that one's very much water soluble. So.
And from like what I've read, like I was brutally sick to the point where I couldn't get to the store, but the internet was saying that zinc is the best thing that you can take for a cold. Like normally I wouldn't touch that supplement because it can be dangerous, but if you got a cold, apparently it's like the best possible thing that you can take.
Yes. Yes, I've heard that. Also, they sell pretty good zinc lozenges, so it helps the throat and it helps you feel better. So that's what I've heard, at least. I'm just going to get to a couple more questions that are here. This is a good one. I don't know if I'd asked you this, but someone was wondering if you've taken the Myers-Briggs test and what your type is.
Oh, I used to be an INFP, but the last like 2 or 3 times I took it, I have like transferred over to like a INTP.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, it does kind of match my personality because I'm more introverted. Like I like to write a lot. I kind of write impulsively, and it runs in my family.
Cool. That's good though, because I think I'm basically going to be an INFP for life. It's like my fate, which nothing wrong with that, but I've been trying to work on my analytical skills, but I'm just an emotional person by nature. You know, let's not get into too much MGTOW here, but you know, women are more emotional by nature, men are more logical by nature. Of course, there's exceptions to the rule. You can work on yourself, yada yada, but you know, so maybe you were able to kind of transfer over. The only thing that really changed for you was the thinking component, right?
I don't even know. Maybe I became like more analytical or something. I don't know like how it happened. It just I slowly kind of transferred over.
Yeah.
But on the I guess like I don't know if people want us to be more on mental health or on gender, but like on the topic of that, women can like see more into the contextual side of conversation too, because they're like they're just wired more that way, their brains or whatever. So like like tone and things like that and body language, they can pick up on more of that than what we can.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. So that's probably why, or at least one of the reasons why more women go into jobs like counseling or teaching and so such and such, and guys go into more analytical, longer hour jobs, blah blah blah. Right? So, I mean, if we're talking broad generalizations.
Well, yeah. I was thinking of doing a video eventually. I started working on notes for it for just like trying to do kind of a basic video on differences, like broad generalization basically, but differences between sexes or genders, whatever word you want to use. But most of those came out of one of Sue Johnson's books, like for the most part. And she's the couples therapist I talked about before.
Okay.
Basically, somebody, some girl that used to be on Google Plus, I was talking to her about like kind of these red pill concepts, and she told me to check this woman out. And she's basically does couples therapy around attachment theory.
Okay.
And but where this actually goes along with mental health, because there's a kind of like the social dynamics of you basically have three different types. You have the people who are kind of people who are secure, people who are anxious, and people who are avoidant, based on like their relationships with others. And this goes into their upbringing too, like how their parents raised them and their different formative relationships and stuff. So it really actually goes beyond just like couples therapy into like all social situations and stuff. It's really interesting.
That's good. That must be handy just for anyone to look at then.
Yeah. So I sort of looked at it from like more of the perspective of for instance, mental health. And one of the things that she said that I was thinking of bringing up if it came up or something is basically this idea of it goes along with depression, like emotional security or something like that. Like basically society is much more disconnected because of technology to some degree.
Yes.
And it's sort of goes along with that, how we could be becoming like more anxious prone or more on the avoidant spectrum, like with other people, with strangers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because of all this technology, you're saying.
Yes, and just like in comparison to like villages and stuff like that. like how technological growth has kind of caused that. There's no real easy answer.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good perspective. And it's actually something that I've thought about myself. It's interesting how sometimes, you're not even reading a book about these things, but you kind of come to these conclusions yourself and you kind of question things about either how you run your own life or what you see around you. And I just find that technology, as good as it can be, like if we're using it as a medium like we are now to actually talk about real problems and real issues, or you could just waste time on the internet and be avoidant, and then when you got out in the real world, you just don't have an interest in interacting with those people or don't know how to anymore, which is a bit scary. But I do think it's an epidemic, and it's more, to me, it's more based on instant gratification, and people want what they want now, so they can just go on the internet, do whatever, they can get their fast food.
Oh yeah.
There's no working for things anymore, right?
Yeah, definitely. But it's I had a thought in my mind, but then it like disappeared. So
That's all right. You'll get it back. Just if you think of it. But that's a good topic to bring up, though, because it's very interesting. I feel like a lot of people just go along with whatever's the norm, but they don't stop and think about how silly sometimes it is we choose to operate, or how crippling it can be to us in certain ways. I mean, we can have a lot of fun being on the internet or isolating ourselves from the world, but I'm sure you know that when you're socially anxious, you want to isolate, but when you're depressed, yeah.
Well, I'm notorious for that. I'm pretty avoidant type, and it's like it's fine like for people like introverts, especially as long as there's a balance. But it's really easy, I think, to like lose balance with that.
Yeah,
it's almost like you gotta like sometimes it's like I sort of have to force myself or remind myself. That's like to like just maintain certain relationships and stuff, just because I'm like I'll be thinking about personal goals, but I won't actually have the energy to pursue all of them.
Yeah,
because I'm not keeping like enough of a balance between like being solitary and then like connecting with other people or something like that.
Exactly.
I think probably introverts are like notorious for that.
Yeah, no kidding. No, I can relate to that. Like, I don't know if you go through this too, but there's some weeks where I just isolate, and then there's other weeks where I just try and stuff in all these plans or just make it a very social week, and it can be draining, and then I kind of dread doing that again. I don't have that balance either. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to put all my plans in one week, and then by the end of the week, you're like, oh my God, everyone leave me alone,
Yeah, the idea of like, I rarely go out because like the idea of like going out like every week is like more dreadful to me than anything.
Yeah.
Plus I like pretty much have stopped drinking because of like I have ulcer problems, so I'm just waiting till they heal. Ooh. Need to look for some antibiotics or something, but yeah. I'm like I'll tend to do that. You isolate yourself like for too long, and then you start like getting depressed or like catatonic or something.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And I feel like people that best understand this are the ones that deal with both anxiety and depression. And a lot of times they're coupled, but sometimes they're not. But it is that power play between the two of them where isolating is going to really hurt you if you're depressed. If you just stay in and you're depressed and you stay in the fetal position in bed, you're just going to get worse and worse and worse. And it's really difficult.
Definitely. And it's nice to see that there's like a kind of like community on YouTube where people can who are brave enough can make videos about their issues and stuff. And definitely the video I have, my confronting dark memories video, that was a lot of those things I've kind of like talked about publicly before I even made that. So it's kind of like you have to like slowly. You can't like as far as the past, the darker side of your past goes. In my experience, you have to kind of if you're going to talk about it piece by piece, like little pieces of it. You can't just try to unload it all at once, because that'll just be too much of an overload.
Yes, I can completely relate to that, because even myself, I saw a therapist for a year, and at the beginning, our sessions were just so like loose and up in the air or whatever, but only a few months in did I feel comfortable really getting to the root of the issues, right? You kind of got to work your way there. Sometimes you have to start off with superficial things, and then you kind of work your way to the really hard stuff. You don't just jump into that and confess everything, or else you're going to feel kind of strange, if that makes sense.
Oh, I've only visited a therapist once, because basically how the story goes is like when I went through major depression, when I was like, it was severe. It was probably from like 2007. I think I was around 18 to like my early 20s. And now I'm getting old now, because I just turned 27. So now I kind of wish that I could go back, just because I'd be younger. But
I'm old too. I'm the same age practically.
Yeah. Yeah. But I I decided to like go off the SSRI I was on, and my parents wanted me to drive myself to the next appointment. So I was going through cold turkey SSRI withdrawal.
Oh.
And I was just like, I was having brain shocks, and I was like, I just can't. So I only went to one appointment, but it was nice. I like sort of to have somebody to talk to about those sort of issues and stuff in like a private setting. She was more like what's it called? Cognitive behavioral therapy. She wanted me to do that, and she wanted me to like keep a list of my emotions, like whenever they changed at different times. But I was depressed and lazy, so I didn't really do that. I did it for a while, but I went through I think 4 different antidepressants and Klonopin.
Wow. Yeah.
2 of them were, I went through a cold turkey SSRI withdrawal twice.
Oh.
And I think that like, if I did have like brain shocks at some point, like to the point of being like really dizzy for a little bit.
Yeah.
But some people, they have it worse. Like they can't even tapering off is just too hard for them. The brain shocks or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like brain zaps. Like I was able to deal with them, because they're not really painful. They're just disorienting.
Yeah, I've only heard about these very recently, to be honest with you, and that's just such a scary thought. That's just your body, I guess, going through the withdrawal symptoms you said, right?
Yeah, I really think that I mean, some people can have. There's this supplement called 5-HTP, and it's like an amino acid that raises serotonin.
Yeah.
And I guess according to WebMD, some people can have like a bad allergy to it, but I think that it's actually superior to a SSRI, because you go off that, I don't think you have brain shocks.
No, exactly.
Because it's just more natural. It's not like this drug that's like recycling the serotonin. It's just boosting. It's like making new serotonin or something.
Yeah, it's a precursor to serotonin.
But anybody that's on an SSRI, just as like a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, and anyone like on an SSRI should not touch it, because you would get serotonin syndrome probably.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You probably like want to talk to a doctor and like taper off the SSRI first.
Yeah, that's it. It's very important, because I feel like some people go into like a health food store or natural store, and they they get you know, a natural supplement, and they think they can combine it with their SSRI, but that's extremely dangerous. They go, oh, it's a natural thing, it's not going to do anything. There's a lot of interactions, and they're very particular, and you got to be careful. Even the natural products can have interactions. For example, I'm on St. John's wort, which is a natural thing for depression, and that has so many interactions. If you're a female, you can't even be on birth control and take that, so you don't want to mess with that. Obviously, you have to do your research, even if you're planning to do a natural, you know, natural route instead of going to the doctor and getting a prescribed medication. So it's very important.
Oh yeah, I actually like. I feel like happier on 5-HTP, but I also feel kind of like fuzzy headed.
Okay.
And I also like have to multitask at work, and I found that it hurts. That higher serotonin seems to hurt your ability to multitask, from what I've found. I found
really?
like some weird little things from taking different like supplements.
Huh.
So I don't take it for that, just because of that.
That's interesting. I've never heard that, but I've definitely had, the one time I noticed a really huge shift in my mood on a natural remedy was when I was taking SAM-E. This is something else, a natural cure for depression. Not cure, but an aid for depression. And when I took it, I became so manic and so paranoid. It was terrifying, and I went cold turkey on it. I had to. I was just like, I cannot be on this another second. I did not. It was the first thing I've ever taken where I'm like, I actually don't feel like myself, and it was terrifying. So my mom was on that for a while, and she loved it. But the problem is, a lot of places don't offer you insurance, I find, on the natural medications. It's only if it's prescribed. So that's even more.
Yeah.
You know, that's more reason people go for the meds, but there's so many side effects. I mean, for some people it works great. I'm not bashing, you know, pharmaceutical medications, but you really have to do your research, and you have to be careful with your dosages for sure. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and someone has a question for you that's interesting. James is asking, do you both think this is the start of SSRI decline worldwide? Do you think there'll be less of them now?
I don't know like what the numbers of people taking them are, but I think it's. I mean, you'd need like a doctor, an honest doctor, I guess, to know like if 5-HTP is superior. But I guess just from my personal experience, it seems to be that way.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's like common knowledge, and the big pharmaceutical companies definitely don't want that to be common knowledge. There's this book called The Mood Cure, and I haven't bought it, but it's got really good reviews, and it's got that's one of the things in it is 5-HTP, and it's all different supplements and things like that.
Oh, great. I saw that book. Does it also have nutrition in it as well? Do you know?
It probably.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
I've been too lazy to cook lately, but I got a bunch of those steamer bags of vegetables and cheese in the freezer.
Good. Yeah, nutrition can help with a lot.
Yeah, I find that like the laziest ways to eat healthy, like I get fruit from V8 Fusion, and then I'm buying steamer bags of vegetables. unless I get like in a more like manic mood where I'm like ready to start cooking stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually have like time off. I don't like to cook like when I know I only have so much time before I gotta go back into work or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you know what? Like the steamer vegetables and stuff are a great option because a lot of frozen vegetables are flash frozen, so they still retain all their nutrients. It's not like you're missing out on anything. Sometimes they're even healthier than, I mean, think about how many fruits and veggies are imported from God knows where, and by the time they get there, they've probably lost so many nutrients, which is something people don't really think about. But, you know, they'll spend an arm and a leg on organic stuff that's imported from like somewhere halfway across the country that by the time it gets there, it's like, you know, it's old. So.
Yeah, I didn't know that that was like, I thought that they like lost, everybody says that they like lose nutrients. They like barely, they don't have as much or something. But I mean, I've gotten energy boost from eating frozen broccoli, so I don't have any complaints.
No, I would honestly
And
recommend that.
I've noticed also like what you said about organic stuff. There's like a trend now where you go in the grocery store and you'll see like organic brands of food and stuff, and it's like super pricey.
Yes.
And they have like no high. I don't know. Like some of it looks like it's just like no GMOs, no high fructose corn syrup. So instead
Yeah.
of like $3, this is $5. I
Yep.
don't,
I know, but there's so many like flash words they use in the marketing. They'll say natural, and natural actually means absolutely nothing. It's just, it's a buzzword, right? And people go, oh, this is natural. Well, you know what? High fructose corn syrup might be considered natural. I don't even know anymore. It's just like there's
yeah.
things that they consider natural now. They're like, well, it comes from a natural product, so it's natural. This comes from corn, so it's natural. No, it's not. It's the body can't even process this stuff. So
I'm pretty sure cyanide is found in like the pits of, was it like apple seeds or something?
yes, exactly.
Like
So
that's natural. So
yeah. Yeah, another thing that pisses me off while we're on this is when people say, "Oh, I would never eat something with chemicals." I'm like, all your food is composed of chemicals. Like they're just, organic ones, right? You'd hope. It's just funny, right?
I actually didn't never put that together, but yeah, you're right, because like our taste receptors, that's all like we're tasting different chemicals basically.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, this is coming from someone with a science background, but just funny when people say like, "Oh my God, chemicals are so bad." I'm like, your food's made out of like carbon and all these things that are just, all different elements and all different compounds, but they're natural versions, right? I mean, that's why we have organic chemistry and stuff like that. These are things that grow in nature. Like you said, the cyanide in apples, and it's so minute that it's not going to do anything. The percentage of cyanide that's found in there is not going to affect you in any way. It's more things like, let's say, mercury that can accumulate over time if you're eating a lot of fish that are higher on the food chain, like tuna, let's say, right? That stuff can affect you over time. But that's why everything in moderation. So.
Well, there's a famous guy that he was like eating I can't remember who he was. He was eating like a nonstop fish diet, and he started getting like actual mercury poisoning, and like you start to slowly go crazy. I think it's like, and it seems like it's kind of similar to lead poisoning, because I watched this documentary where these guys, when there was leaded gasoline, they like one guy walked out of the window of his apartment building, and he was a factory worker at like helping to make leaded gasoline, because the lead got like accumulated in his brain, and it made him go crazy.
Yeah, it's very scary. I'm pretty sure like that some of these can lead to, degenerative diseases like you're suggesting. And it's I mean, anything in excess, so every time I hear someone is on some stupid grapefruit diet only or something, it's like you're killing yourself, man. Like it's dangerous. Even like I don't even know, like have you heard of this Freely the Banana Girl person as well on YouTube?
No, but yeah, I've heard of like these like stupid diets.
Yeah, fruitarian. You just eat fruit only. That's it.
Wow.
I'm like, sugar, although it's more natural, I do agree that the body probably handles it better. The amount of potassium in bananas, if you're eating that much, I mean, people get heart issues from over exercising and getting too much potassium just through exercise. It's dangerous. So it's interesting, because anything in excess can be very dangerous. Even some people that have way too much green juice and too much kale, it can lead to thyroid problems for some people. So it's interesting, because we think, oh, this, I can eat as many whatever as I want. Well, everything has to be in some sort of balance.
Yeah, I don't know like what people are thinking. Like I've heard that there's people that have lived off of like vegetables and meat and like no fruit or something, like in the wild, like because that was what was like local. Like they lived off certain food groups because that was what was local, but I don't know like the specifics of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Could have been getting like milk or something, and I think milk has like a lot of stuff in it. I don't know if you know.
I'll be honest with you. I find milk quite controversial. But but this is again me and my food documentaries. I'm like obsessed with watching this stuff. So James just wrote 19 bananas equals death. Are you serious, dude? 19 bananas equals death. That sounds really scary. Is that potassium,
Wow.
sugar? It's probably the potassium, I'm guessing. I don't know if he picked an arbitrary number, if that's an actual thing. I mean, think about it. Even water, like, did you hear about that talk show where someone was challenged to drink a number of water to win like an Xbox or God knows what, and they actually died? I'm pretty sure it's because of osmosis, and you just have too much water in your system, and it's scary.
Yeah, I've heard of people dying from too much water.
Yeah.
This summer I'm hoping that it doesn't happen, but I could die from too much watermelon because I'm planning to like eat it. I'm planning to eat it till I'm sick of it. I'm just like I'm in a watermelon phase.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll be fine, man. I mean, me too. I don't know if you've ever tried, this might sound weird, but watermelon juice. Just juicing it and drinking that with some lemon is like life. It is amazing.
Yeah, I've never tried juicing it.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
I eat it in cubes.
Yeah, it's really good. It's better that way though, because at least that way you get the fiber and you get everything from it. Because I like juicing, but the thing is you lose a whole bunch of the fiber and all that. So you're kind of wasting some of it unless you use the pulp for other things after. But you know.
I was actually going to I bought a blender. I was going to get into juicing. This goes into my being too lazy to cook a lot. But yeah, cabbage juice supposedly. Obviously, you want to mix it with some other fruit like peeled apples.
Yeah.
But supposedly it's like the best natural remedy for stomach ulcers.
Oh,
so
really?
I keep telling myself I got to get on that. Yeah, there was some sort of study done a long time ago, and it like healed a bunch of guys' stomach ulcers.
That's really interesting because I think like that whole family of vegetables has certain properties. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's also have pretty strong cancer fighting properties, but so do a lot of vegetables anyways, right? I mean, basically food is your medicine and you can choose how to use it. And James just wrote that 19 bananas in one day equals too much potassium. So yeah, so that's what it is. That's scary, man, that you could eat that too many and kind of OD on potassium almost.
You would I would have to kind of like force myself to eat that.
Yeah, 19?
That makes Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong, they're like demigods or something.
They'd be like jealous. It's basically like, you know, the beginning of the old school Donkey Kongs when you go into the cave and all your bananas are stolen. It's like someone just ate all those in one shot kind of deal, you know? And Donkey Kong's just there with his like head in his hands and he's like shaking his head in shame. I
love Diddy Kong. I was like I told my roommate I was pissed off because I happened to be like in the store the other night and there was no Diddy Kong amiibos. And like, I'm just looking, I shouldn't even like be buying this stuff, but
wait,
but,
what is
it? They're like these little plastic Nintendo figurines that basically they work with like they have a chip in them or something, so they work with like certain games.
Oh.
So because Nintendo just wants your money, and I love Diddy Kong so much that I would probably buy that one, but
yeah,
I would stop there.
You think Nintendo wants your money? I remember in friggin' what's that game called? Punch Out. They're like, Mac, join the Nintendo Fun Club today. Like they advertised in the game. I'm like, dude, stop. But
in the remake of it?
The original one, I think. Like way back in the NES one. Yeah. Yeah. I used to be subscribed to their like Nintendo Power magazine or whatever it was called back then.
I had a subscription to that too. I like gave them all away, but I probably should have kept them.
Yeah.
Like I know a guy. He had some really, really old ones. I think they're from the 80s or something.
Oh.
I actually have in my bedroom an NES Advantage in the original box. You know the controller that the Ghostbusters used to pilot the Statue of Liberty.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I have it like in my in a box.
That's awesome. Yeah, honestly, there's nothing like the old school stuff to me.
I was thinking of like doing a video on it, showing it or something eventually.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, actually. Yeah, it's all those old games for me that really got me. I love Diddy Kong as well. I even liked him in Donkey Kong 64 with his little peanut gun he had there. And
I pissed off relatives because I was really good at the multiplayer, and I just like whooped people, and nobody wanted to play with me. They'd get ticked off, and
in 64, like the guns and everything.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would use those orange grenades like crazy. And I would just spam, and people would get real mad at me, and they just stop playing.
Yeah, and isn't there like a feature where you can put it on infinity for some of the things?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, there always are, but yeah, that was one of my favorite games. I'm forgetting the levels now, but I think there was one called Frantic Factory or something that was really cool, and yeah, reminiscing now. I mean,
yeah, definitely. I actually wanted.
Yeah.
Well, actually, to like return like it's to like the main topic, like to tie them in, I guess.
Yes.
It's definitely, I think that video games is sort of like it's definitely like a mental health thing for a lot of people.
Good or bad?
Well, it can be bad, but I mean like there's a lot of like good memories for people in that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can be a very, very social thing too. After I worked 17 days straight, I didn't want to do like anything that was too much effort. So I got a couple of friends together and we just played Minecraft all night.
Exactly. No, that's it. I used to just get together with friends and play video games. You know, you get together and play Mario Kart or Smash Bros, right? And just get some people together. And I find that works. Yeah, it's better as an introvert because then you're not sitting there with someone making eye contact, talking about serious stuff. You're talking to each other, but you're looking at a screen, so there's less pressure on you, right? You know, it's a very introvert thing to do. So
we're not serious at all, right? When we're
no, that's great.
Yeah. Is this G rated, PG rated?
No, dude, my channel, I tried to keep it G for so long, and then Paul Wilson came onto my channel and I said screw it all.
Then MGTOW. Well, I like my friend, I have a famous saying, like I had my roommate busting up laughing because one time we were playing and I had like Minecraft and I had like a shovel or something, and I was walking in the woods or something, and I saw a sheep, and like out of nowhere I attacked it and I yelled, "Kill him and take his anus!" And I really laughed at the top of my lungs as I was attacking the sheep with like something that wasn't a sword.
That's hilarious.
And he just started like it was all spontaneous. We just like say random things and stuff.
Yeah.
We're probably obnoxious to everyone else.
Oh, that's fine. Honestly, I feel like the video game moments are like the funniest things, you know, even when you find like a stupid like glitch in a game or something, it's hilarious, you know?
Yeah, my roommate, he's playing was it Dead Space 2 on the hardest difficulty?
Oh god.
You can only die 3 times, and he was at least, I think it was like halfway or more through the game or something. He hadn't been able to save for like a long time or something. He fell through the elevator, like outside of like the map.
Oh no, those are the worst moments. You're like, I didn't even mess up. The map just disappeared, and you're like, sure.
Glitch based. We crack jokes all the time about Bethesda games and how horribly glitchy they are. I don't know if you've played like any Bethesda.
Is it also BioShock, another one? Or not?
BioShock's another company. Bethesda's like the Elder Scrolls and stuff. of
Oh,
Fallout.
okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm really bad. Like, I never take note of the actual companies of video games. I know some people really follow those things, but I like, shoot, what's it
What do you
called?
what do you play?
Well, to be honest, I do more old school stuff, but I did get into some of like the Xbox 360 games and stuff. I'm trying to think of what the name is because my favorite old games were the Rare games, right? That was the
Hmm.
thing. Rare and whatever the heck, what Square? I think Square Mario RPG. Like I love that Square games. I think it's called.
Oh, Square Enix or
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
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 they make all the Final Fantasies.
yeah, and
They
Epic
was it
Games for
Miss
the
was oh was it Mystic Quest?
Mystic Quest. I don't know that one
That
actually.
I think that was like a Super Nintendo Final Fantasy parody. I think that's what it was called.
Okay. Huh.
But if you like retro games, there's a game like I plan to play it, and then
Hmm.
it's like a 2D Minecraft, but with way more stuff. It's called Terraria, and it's
Okay.
like really addictive. It's all pixel art, and it's got kind of like 16-bit sounding, like Super Nintendo sounding music, and
Nice.
it's just yeah, it's super addictive. I think that you can buy it on PC through Steam or Xbox 360.
Okay. That sounds cool actually. Yeah, it's good to kind of go back and play some of the older games. One of the games I liked that they kind of did a spin of the platform games was Cloudberry Kingdom for Xbox 360. Have you ever played that
Yeah,
one?
it sounds really familiar, but I haven't played it.
Oh, it's fun. Any of those like kind of or Super Meat Boy or anything like that that's kind of throwback to old platformer games is fun.
I bought Super Meat Boy, but I like I haven't like sat down to uh, play it through yet.
Yeah, it's a hard game. I was watching my brother play it and he was getting so mad. I was just like, dude, calm down. It's one of those things where he can't
Yeah,
walk away from a game, you know? He gets so into the game, he'll just get so mad and then he'll just like keep playing it until he drives himself literally insane. I'm like, dude, like step away for 5 minutes, you know? Oh man. I
I'm
rage
like now
quit.
that I'm yeah, I used to do that when I was little. Like I had through controllers and stuff. Now that
Yeah.
I'm older, if I get mad, I just like, all right, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna like put it down.
Smart man. See, yeah, I'd usually rage quit, but the problem is I always rage quit, of course, at a very difficult place. So then I leave the game alone for like a few months, and then you never want to play it because you're like, oh, I could really go for playing Banjo Kazooie, and then you're like, where was I in that game? And you're like, oh crap, that stupid place where I couldn't get all the notes, and you're like, never mind, I'm not playing it, and then you just don't play that
I
game again.
Yeah, I was playing that last year. I was also Banjo Kazooie, and I haven't like beat it because it's like there's just so much crap, and I
Yep,
get lost and stuff.
yep,
But
yep.
I got all the way last year to the end boss of Jet Force Gemini, and that was an awesome game.
Never
I wish
played.
they would yeah, it was a great game, but I just like rage quit the end boss because it's just too I could not beat him.
Oh
I just
man.
died over and over again. I was just like I can't.
Yeah, it sucks when you get that far and you literally just stop at the end. That was me with actually with Kingdom Hearts, I think. I don't think I ever beat the boss at the end. Damn it. Sad
Somebody
moment.
I got I'm gonna like lose gamer cred for saying this, but I got to the very end of Final Fantasy VII. I played it like over I can't remember when it came out, 94. So I literally played it like over a decade after it came out,
Yeah.
or like a very long time afterwards. I finally got around to playing it, and it was an
Yeah.
amazing game. But I got to the final boss, and I wasn't leveled enough or something, and then my friend showed me him beating it. So I was like, "Well, screw this! He ruined the game, so I'm not gonna."
You're like good enough. I saw someone else do it. I've done that too. There's so many times I've watched my brother play it, and it's really funny because people don't understand. They're like, "How can you literally just sit there and watch someone play a game?" I'm like, "It's the best thing in the world," and they just don't get it. I mean, there's a whole industry of that. Watching people on Twitch or watching people play whatever that game is, StarCraft. I think that was like huge. Um,
Yeah,
I'm not a PC gamer, so I don't really keep track of those things. But I had a friend who was literally like, "I'll be back in a few hours. I'm gonna go watch StarCraft." I'm like, "Watch?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." But like, I would sit down and I'd watch my brother just play through like Mario 64 sometimes because it just made me happy to watch it, you know. So.
Well, yeah, like one of my greatest memories is getting a Nintendo 64 for Christmas with the Ocarina of Time packaged in it.
Yeah.
And then my dad demanded to play it first. So, but that game was like definitely that was an amazing game.
Yes. Anytime someone brings that up, I'm just like, I smile inside. I'm like, yay, I love that game.
I don't know if you remember A Link to the Past.
Yep.
For Super Nintendo.
Yep.
Yeah, when I was little, I used to like explore in that game and stuff.
Yeah.
I would like sit in church and zone out and just think about Zelda.
It's all coming out now, huh? All the confessions.
Yep.
That's hilarious. I've been there too. Honestly, there's sometimes I'd just be like, I just can't wait to get home and play video games. Like that was my childhood for me. It was when I started gaming when I was about 7 years old, I would say. With Super Mario World was my first game. So I got the Super Nintendo, and then it was Mario Kart and all this. And only later, thank God, did I discover games like Conker's Bad Fur Day and all that. So great game.
Well, my dad used to like sit down with me. Like I watched him as he played Super Nintendo when I was little.
Yeah.
I guess I like don't remember it, but that's what they told me. But when I was at the babysitters, like we had a Sega and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
And like I was the only kid that could get to level 2, so they always had me play because I could get the furthest, but I always died at level 2, and I was like completely afraid. I think level 2 was like, I don't know if that was the underwater level. I hated that level with a passion.
Is it the one that like you're trying to not go underwater and the water keeps rising kind of deal?
It might have been something like that, but like suffocating in that.
Yep.
In Sonic, I hated that.
Yep. It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary for a little kid when that music's playing and you've got like a timer before like an animal dies in front of you.
I know. I have a confession. I used to scare my brother because I used to have the old Mario Paint game, and when you would erase something, you had to use a bomb like icon, and it would make a really loud noise, and I would just press it over and over again. My brother was crying. I feel bad about it now.
I had a relative that had that game, and I absolutely loved that freaking game when I was little.
Yeah, the Fly game.
The Fly game was like a lot of fun, but it was also like, it was just weird.
Yeah.
Like, you had like a fly swatter game, and you had like a music making thing.
Yeah.
All these weird.
That's so funny because my brother used to be so good at like composing the stuff, and my parents completely didn't like nurture his talent. And now it's like he's really great at music, but he's like, look what I composed, and it's like mad skills on there. And the parents are like, okay, that's fine, honey. We'll just put you into this and something completely unrelated, you know? And now he's like, Dad, why didn't you nurture my talents when I was younger? So that's pretty funny. James says he had the GoldenEye 007 bundle. Nice.
Yeah, that game, that was some of the best multiplayer back then. It's like the best multiplayer shooter. I don't know if Call of Duty was even around back then, or obviously Halo wasn't.
Nope.
I had a lot of fun playing that. The Wii remake, they screwed up really bad, I thought.
For GoldenEye?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Wii screwed up a lot of things, if you want to ask me, but anyway.
Nintendo just didn't focus on graphics, and I think that they should have focused at least a little more. Yeah. I mean, they did some. They like had a huge demographic. Like, I had my 90-year-old grandpa, like 90 something. I had a Wii Motion Plus and the thing that came with it, and there's this mini game where you're trying to like build a giant ice cream cone.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even like board games. You don't like board games at all.
Yeah.
He's like, he can't like understand buttons, and
Yeah.
I was able to actually have him like play that.
The ice cream cone one?
Yeah, he like did pretty decent on it.
My grandmother did DDR.
I did that a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's pretty dangerous for like a old person.
I know. Well, you put them on the slowest setting where there's like 1 beat per minute, you know? It's like you just have to step on one thing every like minute, so it's not so bad. But I used to like those games, like for people that want to get started into fitness. The Wii is very good for someone that just wants to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, that was like good cardio, a good cardio workout. Like I was like drunk on vodka. This was years ago, and I told my friend, I'll give you like the game pad that's like not a third party one, that's not glitchy, the DDR pad, and I'll take the third party one. And he was completely sober, and I said, I'll beat you, and I like beat him, and he's like, well, you beat me fair and square. You had like a DDR pad that was like the buttons are glitchy, and you're completely drunk.
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes alcohol helps with video game performance, because I don't know about you, but sometimes even when I'm playing in front of someone or against someone, I get nervous. Even though I know that I'm good at the game, let's say I still get nervous, and then I'm like, because actually I used to be a Guitar Hero champion. I friggin' loved those games so much, and I would play them obsessively. And if only I'd harnessed that into actual guitar playing. I heard they're similar, but of course they're not, because you're just doing buttons, but you're still getting used to like, the fingerings and things. So but I used to love that game, and I was working my way up to like the expert mode and everything, and it was just so much fun. And I actually just found it at an arcade the other day, and my fiance had to literally rip me away from there. They're like, we're closing soon. I'm like, yeah, one more song. And I was like just stuck on it. I just obsessed with that game. That was a great game. Oh man.
Yeah, I was like almost a master at Donkey Kong. Like my friends introduced me to it. I got really, really, really good at that.
Me too.
But I could never. I like the highest difficulty songs. I couldn't pass on like like I don't know if there's expert or like the hardest difficulty and the highest difficulty songs. I didn't ever beat. I own like the first. There's 3 of them, but the third one was only released in Japan.
Oh really?
And it's all like Japanese music.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, I used to have that game too, and literally the story of my life is I start a game, then my brother starts the same game, then he surpasses me, then I quit the game. That's basically what happens. My brother used to play that La Bamba song. Like that song in the highest difficulty is just like my brain could not process what is happening on the screen anymore. I'm like, sometimes you have to try and blur your vision to just look at the notes, which is probably explains why I have such bad eyesight these days. But I swear to God, I couldn't even make sense of what was going on the screen. And he was just playing it like no one's business. And I'm like, dude, how are you even playing that game right now? Insane. Also, there's this game he found that is so cool. I can't remember what it's called. It sounds something like Necromancer, but it's a game where it's a PC game, and you fight bosses and you fight levels to a beat. So every time there's a beat, you're jumping. It's like such a cool game. Oh my God, I want to find it for you. Yeah, so weird. I'm gonna try and find it, because if you like those kind of games, you'll probably love this. It's called like Necromancer game.
Yeah, I went out and bought a Rocksmith like last year, and I don't have like my guitars. Like I need a new guitar, basically. My guitar's messed up, so it sucks because I want to play it so bad. And that's where you plug like an actual guitar in and stuff. It's ridiculously hard. It's like months to like master a song on expert because you're playing it like with a real guitar and crap.
That would be really cool. I would love to learn. If it was more interactive that way, it would be something I'd really be interested in learning. But I gave you the link there. This game's called Crypt of the Necro Dancer, and it is so fun. My brother showed it to me, and I was like obsessed with it. Oh my gosh.
Also, it's you plug like a DDR dance pad into it or something?
No, you actually just do it on your laptop, but you just jump to the beat of it. So you just use your normal arrows. Actually, one of my goals is to get a good enough computer to not only do better quality YouTube videos on, but to do more like gaming and stuff, maybe start a Twitch account and all that. It would be so much fun. So I'm hoping one day I'll be doing that.
It looks like it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I think my computer would be better with gaming if I was using a smaller monitor. It came with like a big freaking monitor and like that extra video rendering and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I run Fraps, that Fraps will make, like, even if I'm running it like half size, like lower the settings, it'll still make like really big. Like I have to lower the resolution in game, so I don't really do. I only do like short clips of me playing games if I do anything like that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's difficult because I find my problem is my computer just won't do the gaming. But then again, if I'm trying to play like an old school game on like a newer TV, it just looks horrible and I get actually nauseous.
Oh yeah,
pixels, right? And you're like, oh my god. But I did try Five Nights at Freddy's on my brother's computer and I almost died. Like I did one Let's Play on my channel and I was like terrified. And I want to do that because the thing is my brother actually has all the software to be able to do the gaming. He has like the Hopage thing and all the like audio stuff. He has external mics. He has like the works. The only problem is he doesn't live very close to me and it's a big setup and a big time commitment to do that. But my channel was actually originally going to be a gaming channel. So
mine was originally like, I'd rather call myself like a rationalist or agnostic now, but it was like, or a skeptic or something like that. But I was originally going to be like an atheist channel. I even had like some atheist videos up. That was back, like the last video I favorited on this channel was back in like 2008.
Wow.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was when you had like this, the atheist community was kind of like starting to boom on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I find a lot
of. It was an inch.
Oh, go ahead.
It was an interesting time.
Yeah. Huh, that's cool because I do find a lot of MGTOWs are also interested in the atheist community. This is a very large parallel. And of course, in the mental health community, some of them as well. Like, I really appreciate the people that do kind of the crossovers, like Zeta X. He's really cool. It's cool that he's doing mental health stuff and he's also doing MGTOW stuff. And I like that Dark Knight's doing science and he's doing MGTOW stuff. So anyone that brings a different element than just being like, you know, unidimensional, it's very interesting to me when they bring in different things to our channel. So I've been trying to do that myself.
Yeah, I always intended to be like more autodidactic and like try to bring like different topics to my channel, but it seems like I kind of I've gravitated towards a lot of MGTOW stuff just because it's interesting.
Yeah.
And then I think I just make spontaneous comedic stuff because it's got a more positive spin on it. It just keeps me sane to make comedic stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I like people that put that spin on things.
But I'll sometimes just pick up my camera and I'll just start like talking in some sort of voice. Like I actually have something on my camera where I'm like, I'm gonna upload. I'm just holding a can of turkey spam. My roommate's cat, and talking to her like this or something like that. I don't know.
Yay! Your shark hat like steals the show, man. There's some of your videos I've watched and I've just burst out laughing. I really like the comedy in your videos and the randomness.
Yeah, I haven't worn it in a while because that was back when I started buying hats. It was back when I was drinking, and and I was like, well, I'm gonna start an absurd hat collection for while I'm drinking beer. But the story, there's like a story behind the shark hat. When I'm sleep deprived, I do random things.
Yeah.
And I went into work sleep deprived like during a blizzard, and then I decided I'm gonna buy this shark hat. So that's basically
cool story, bro. That's good though, man. Wow. I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I'm actually going out soon to get some stuff because I'm moving soon, so I'm going to be getting some stuff from my apartment.
Yeah, I'm starting to get sleepy, so
Sleepy,
that works.
yeah. Yeah, of course. I was just wondering if you have any closing thoughts. I really like this chat because it flowed very well, I found. So,
Um, uh, get more sleep than what I get. That's
fair enough. So I just want to say to everyone, check out Class Punk. I'm gonna have your channel linked down below, so if you want, you can check that out. And thanks for everyone that
all
watched
right.
the interview today.
Yep, I'll make a video linking to this later on, probably tomorrow or night or something.
Perfect.
But
Sounds good.
thanks for watching.
Yeah, nice talking to you, man.
Yep, see ya.
All right, bye.